we've all seen the complicated dynamics between mothers and daughters, but is it possible for these relationships to become toxic?
Well, that's exactly what's being explored, amongst other things, in the new BBC series Amandaland, where stars Lucy Punch and Joanna Lumley play a mother and daughter with a somewhat love-hate relationship.
Oh, darling, let me in before I get mugged.
What can I do for you, Mummy? We're going out.
I love how you've made your little house look so swishy. I thought I'd bring you a little tuck parcel from Waitrose, now that you've only got a Tesco Metro. A little splash of wine and some Earl Grey chocks for the children and goji berries for you.
Oh, well, that actually will be really nice on my birch muesli.
You're still doing breakfast?
The two of them together are just sensational.
So good.
But why do mother and daughter relationships sometimes become difficult? Psychologist Linda Papadopoulos joins us now to help us break it down. I mean, these are really fundamental relationships. All move it in terms of endearment, mummy dearest. It's such a fundamental relationship between your mum.
It so is. Look, it's critical to how we understand ourselves, our place in the world, our sense of entitlement, our relationships with others. If you get it right, you feel secure in attachments, you feel you can take risks, you feel that unconditional love. If you get it wrong, you always feel on the back foot. I'm not sure I'm lovable. You know, it kind of, not to get too deep about it, but it's this idea that we always love our creator, but does our creator love us, right? And that's the thing with mothers.
There is a complicated difference, though, between mother-daughter and mother-son. We've got sons in our house, there's sons in your house, and I see that relationship between the mother and son. It's fantastic, it's really wonderful. I never see any of that toxicity. Why is it the mother-daughter relationship is so much more complicated?
I think it's because mothers will often see daughters as extensions of themselves and therefore project onto them things that they're unhappy with themselves with. So if I had issues with, with my weight, I may then project that on to my daughter. She becomes a part of me. I think also this idea of protecting them from society. So this idea that I had a bad time with something, if I preempt it with you because I know what it's like, I've been there and done that. Also, mothers and daughters tend to be closer, so you have that unhealthy attachment theory. So and sometimes it's about quality, not quantity, whereas sons, we're also socialized into believing, well, they're a boy, they should go off and do their own thing. There isn't the expectation that a son calls his mother every day. There isn't that expectation that they're best friends, is there? But with girls, there isn't. I think that also complicates it. So it's you're absolutely right, it's a very different set of dimensions to look at.
Absolutely. Well, we've got loads of questions from the viewers. This first one is from Kerry. She says, I usually have a good relationship with my mum, but there's been a couple of times when she's commented on my weight. Interesting you saying that. It does nothing for my self-esteem. Also, I don't go out much, but if I do, my mum always has to know where I'm going. I'm an adult. How do I create boundaries? Yeah. Wow, there's a lot to unpick there.
There is a lot to unpick there. I think you've got to remember that the relationship starts off hierarchical, but as your child grows older, that hierarchy, it has to change. To her point, she's an adult. And so establishing those boundaries is really important. And look, I think from the daughter's point of view, in a very weird way, the mom probably thinks she's protecting her. If I say, eat this, not that, then I'm protecting you because people can be judgy. So I think two things. You can acknowledge that and say, hey, I get that you're trying to protect me, but you know what? I'm good, I'm healthy. This actually isn't helpful. Let's talk about something else. So being able to kind of articulate that, I get that you're trying to help, but it's actually not. And actually, I'm all right with it. The second thing, when it comes to kind of her interfering with everything, from the mom's side as well, for those moms listening, if you feel like, oh, I really want to say something, ask yourself this. Are you protecting your child from something? Or are you just saying, that's not the way that I do it? Because if what you're saying is like, oh, that's not the way that I do it, be quiet. She doesn't need to know. Yeah. If you're protecting her, then there's a way of saying it that means that she might actually listen. Because if everything becomes a critique, are you wearing that? Oh, is that a new perfect? Oh, is that what you're going to eat? Oh, is that who you're dating? Then, the best way to destroy someone's confidence is to constantly, death by 1,000 cuts. Those little things.
Interesting. OK.
You're so clever.
She is smart. And simple idea of getting around it. If you wouldn't say it, then don't.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Sarah. This is quite sad. Sarah says she fell out with her mum 22 years ago. Oh, no. She says it was all my fault, so the mum says it's all her fault. I've tried over the years to make amends and apologise for my part, but she can't move past it. She can't even say my son's name, and he's 14 years old now. She's missed so much. The last time we spoke was 2023. She's so angry and bitter. Do I finally stop trying because even at 50, I can't keep going back to be rejected again?
Oh, God, that's heartbreaking.
Tis.
Oh, look, I think first things first, reconciliation takes two people. And, you know, when we speak about closure and we kind of think, well, no, but I want to fix this. Sometimes closure is acceptance that someone is not able to give you what you need. And I think there has to come a point. This sounds like it's really hurting you. It sounds like it's something that not only is going to keep repeating, but that is, again, going to be a detriment to you. So I think there has to come a point where you recognize you've done everything you can. I always think it's the easiest thing to do to walk away is to kind of acknowledge that you've done everything you can. You've been trying for 22 years, was it?
22 years,
22 years. I think at some point, maybe what you seek from her, you may be able to get from other relationships. You know, that idea of an older person in your life that's able to give you some kind of connection and love. And to understand that this is, you know, clearly it sounds like it's not something you've done. It sounds like for whatever reason that mom is, you know, very, you know, hooked up on something. And here's the other thing. Yeah, I think we tend to see our parents as like, you know, wiser and smarter. They're doing everything for the first time as well. Sometimes they're not that thing, you know, so don't assume that this is a testament to who you are. You know, she's a human being with her flaws as well. So I don't know, you know, how helpful that is, but I think ultimately there's a point where you have to say enough's enough.
Yeah. It's so funny. You only learn that by being a mom yourself, where you're like, actually, I don't have all the answers. And you always think that your mom does. Really do. Thank you so much.
We're out of time. We need to do this again because we've got lots of questions we didn't get through. So Linda, come back and we'll focus on this again.
Thank you for visiting our This Morning YouTube channel. We upload new content every day. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out. And we'll see you in the morning.